Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on European Confessions. The following confession, it reads like this. I want to expose my Zimbabwean maid who made me to become a witch. She was a witch when I brought her into my home. I thought that I could use her witchcraft by the time that I found out that she was a witch to help with my business as well as my child who was always sick at all the times. Yes, this Zimbabwean woman, she assisted me, and for that, I don't know if I am supposed to be grateful or not, but I am also initiated into witchcraft. I have been bewitching people in the community, and I have made other people to lose even their marriages because I just hated the way that they used to enjoy their marriages, yet I am just a single woman. This maid of mine, she has helped me to build my catering business from struggling as someone that was just running that business in town by the taxi rank. Now I do have a tender where we are doing school feeding program and money is coming in and it is so nice. There are people that are going to judge me after you would have read this confession. And I wish that I could respond to them, but I am scared that they will know my email that I am using on YouTube. But I also ask you, Brother Nashim, if it is possible, you can send me the link so that I can just watch as you are reading my story. I am always following you and I believe in witchcraft because at night I do wake up and I am taken by some elderly women that go with me to the graveyard. There are those that I am lying. Some will say that you are very evil, you deserve each and everything that is happening to you. Yeah, I know that you might say that I deserve everything that is happening to me, but I am also a human being who is chosen to repent, even though I do not know where to start. Maybe you are right when you say that I am evil and I deserve what is coming my way. I am tired of doing the things that I do. There are times when I return back from work, then I see that there is a toddler in my bedroom. And this is like a dogology, the spirit of a young baby that was taken after they had passed away, then their spirit was then turned into a dogology. And this toddler that I would have found in my bedroom, the toddler will be like, I want you to find me food, mom. So in my house, Brother Nash, if I buy a 25 kg of milli meal, it does not even last for 2 days. I have two Lesotho maids, those that do not even know that I am doing these rituals. They cook pap in a very big pot and then they leave it at night. They do not even understand why I make them to do this. And these women, they work very hard, and at night they are also used by the dogologies that sleep with them. If I am tired of cooking for these dogologies, I can send them to their neighbors. Usually, if you see that in your house, food does not last, if you are a person that when you cook, sometimes after you would have finished cooking, you realize that the pap is not right, and then you throw the whole pot of pap away. Know that you are not just throwing, but you are actually dishing out to the dogologies. If you have your kids that are always wasteful, when they are eating maybe cornflakes in the morning, when you wake up, you see that there is milk everywhere, cornflakes spilled all over the place. You might beat them thinking that they are just careless, but that is how dogologies work. They would be eating the food in the house. Maybe if you can throw salt here and there, then those topologies, they won't come to your house. I am 34 years, by the way. I am a South African woman. I was born and raised in Soweto. Let me give you a brief background about my family. My father, he came from Mozambique. He also met my mother, who was from Mozambique. Even though we are South Africans, but we do come from Mozambique. That is why we do not have a village where we can say we come from this village, either in KZN or wherever. We just come from Soweto. So my mother was the first one to come to South Africa. By then, she did not even know about my father. She came and then she got married to a South African man, thereby gaining citizenship after they had their daughter, who is my biggest sister. She has since passed away. I will tell you more about my biggest sister. And then they had a fight with the first husband. That was when she met my father, who was already working in the mine. My father then got married to my mother, and by doing so, he also became a citizen in South Africa. And then that was when I was born. We grew up staying with my half sister, and she was someone that was very nice. But later on in life, we started to fight over men, because if I could get a man, she will end up sleeping with her. When I finally became a witch, I went to her house and I planted a seed in one of the flower pots that were just outside, close to her bedroom. This seed, it became a worm, and then it entered into her right leg, and later on she started to develop cancer that could not be cured. By the time that she passed away, my sister, she was wearing diapers. So back to my story, I can say for about 6 years right now, I have been living a life that is full of fear, nightmares, seeing tokoloshis, toddlers playing in my bedroom. Even when I am fast asleep, I see things that are so scary that if some of you were to witness, you will even start to run mad, because these are things that no normal human being is supposed to see. I am feeling guilty because I got myself involved in witchcraft, which is something that I do not fully understand. I thought that I could deal with the devil on my own terms. I am like a child that saw a pot on a stove boiling with water, and I tried to play with that water that is boiling, and I am crying right now. So this confession of mine, it starts with my maid. I hired a Zimbabwean maid. Her name is called Prudence, a woman whom I loved a lot because she was someone that never complained. She never did anything. I can say she was like a blessing in my life, a woman that suddenly destroyed my life spiritually. Even though financially she left me in a better position, I did not know that my maid, her mother, is a queen of witches. She come from a called Buera. I have been flying to Zim more than most of you have been, but we fly at night, because when you join a club, you will always belong to that club. So at night, we get inside a snake and then we fly to Zim and we spend the night in Zim. We would be consulting, we would be told what we are supposed to do, the kind of diseases that we are supposed to create, sleeping with men in their dreams, especially those that disturb our kingdom. If a man prays, he can disturb our kingdom. So we go into his house, seduce him, and have sex with him in his dream, thereby weakening his spirit. The next day, when he goes to bed, you will end up looking at pornography, masturbating. Slowly but surely, his spirit becomes much more weaker and weaker by the day. That is some of the things that we do each and every night, both in Zim as well as here in Soweto. This woman, she has left me in a better financial position, but spiritually, she has made my life to become like a living hell. My daughter is the one that is about to get sacrificed. Before all this happened, I was just a struggling Kasi entrepreneur trying to survive, as well as being a single mother. I was a nurse assistant at a small private clinic in Johannesburg. The salary, even though I had a salary, but I also had other things that I had to do. My late husband, he passed away, leaving a huge debt that I'm still servicing to this very day. Sometimes working night shift and still got paid late, raising my daughter alone because her father disappeared after finding out that I was pregnant. Then I got married to another man, and me and that man, we never had a child together. As for my late husband, he was someone that was nice, but he made a mistake by taking a huge debt that I was still servicing by the time that he passed away. Life was very hard. During the day, working at the clinic, after shifts, would be selling whatever that I could sell. I'm someone that is very resourceful from a very young age. My mother taught me how to be resourceful, selling flat cooks, chicken feet, Russian sausages, and quarter plates near any taxi rank. So I was using this other small trailer that I had gotten, and I was renting it. Sometimes I would go for months and months, not even being able to pay the rentals in time. Sometimes it will become difficult, would only make enough money for transport, and it was just difficult. When I would cry because I felt like nothing was working. When you are owing the bank, they call you every day. Does not even matter, even if you make any payment arrangement. It's like they've forgotten. One day they call you, we are asking when are you going to finish your payments. But the previous day, they would have called and you would have told them that you are going to pay maybe the next weekend, and then they call and then they call. This will leave you so much depressed. You can't ignore because you are afraid that they will take you to court, and you do not want that to happen. As for my daughter, she was born prematurely. From birth, she was always sick. She always had chest infections. You know how babies that are born prematurely are like. She was always having different skin rashes. Sometimes she would cry non-stop at night. Sometimes she would be just crying all over the place, and you would not even understand what is happening to her, as if there was someone else, another person that I could not see, that will be in the bedroom. And it used to get so scary because she would even be pointing in the corner of the room when she was fast asleep. When I would wake her up, she would start to scream as if she was seeing someone that I could not see. I would take her to different medical facilities. The doctors would give us medication, but nothing ever worked permanently. They said that she was hallucinating. At the same time, my business, it was totally collapsing. I could not handle going to work and being stressed by my child who cried all night long. So when my business was collapsing, then I said, let me focus on my work where I am getting a salary that is helping me to pay my bills. That was when Prudence entered my life. I met her through another Zimbabwean woman who was about to retire. She was working at the reception with us at the clinic for a very long time. She said that there is a lady looking for domestic work. She is very humble and good with children. That is how Prudence came to work for me. She came to my room, and then I spoke with him, and I saw that she was someone that was hardworking. So she was nice, and she spoke even broken Zulu mixed with English. But I liked him because she was someone that was very respectful. Then, as we started to stay together, she was now staying with me 24/7 because I wanted to focus on my work. By then, I had packed my business of selling pap by the taxi rank. I just wanted to focus on finishing the debt that I was still owing at the bank. So she started to ask me, why is the child always crying at night? Because at night I will take my child and sleep with him. She will be sleeping in the other room. I then told him that my child was always like this, and then she said that some children, they are spiritually sensitive. At first, I thought that since she was religious, she would always speak about that. She started to help me with my daughter, and one night, my daughter developed a terrible fever. Her body, you could not touch her. She was hot like fire, struggling to breathe. I panicked and prepared to rush her to the hospital, but Prudence stopped me. She went into her room, came back with a bag, and removed some powder that was wrapped in an old newspaper. and she mixed with some roots, boiled them in water, and made steam for me and the child to inhale, then rubbed black oil with herbs on Amatha's chest. I was scared, but after an hour, my daughter's breathing became normal. By morning, the fever was completely gone. I could not believe it. Even the clinic medication had never worked that fast. That was the beginning of everything. After that, I started to trust African tradition. She started to tell me things about my life that were true. She said that I was struggling because I was not connected to my ancestors. She told me why my baby daddy that impregnated me never returned. She told me that there were those women that were jealousy around the taxi rank that saw me as competition. She even described dreams that I had never shared with anyone before. I became so much attached to this woman, and she started helping me to restart my business. So this is what Prudence will do. Early in the morning, she would wake up when I am going to work, clean, and then she would take my daughter to crash, and she would go to the taxi rank where she would cook the pub, and we started to get a lot of customers. Something strange was happening. Where I used to make 400 a day, I was making 3,000. Taxi drivers became obsessed with my food. People would queue all day long. Even when the nearby women were not making money, I was always making money. We expanded within 8 months. I bought another trailer, another one, put him on another business until I started to do tenders, bought a small car, bought furniture. My life became successful. That was when Prudence stopped hiding things from me. She would wake up and she would wake me up so that we can burn some Shona herbs outside. This would be like 3 a.m. And then I started to see myself going to Zim in places that I never knew. And there were men that started chasing after me, giving me a lot of money after she would have given me herbs to put in my private part when I am going to sleep with a man. And that man will give me 20K, 30K for no reason. Then the dreams, they became dreams of me seeing Dogoloshes, one after the other, being trained how to dig up for roots and bewitching other people. It was in the morning when Prudence finally came out clean with me, and she told me that she was a witch. The day that I realized that she was a witch, she showed me the advantages of being a witch, and then she told me the things that I was supposed to buy. We went to town together, and she taught me how to use those charms. Prudence then told me that it was time for him to return back to Zim because he did not want to be in South Africa anymore. But we were always going to be connected spiritually, and indeed, it is always happening. Prudence can come and collect me. We go inside a snake, then we fly back to Zim, where we can have a meeting. By then, she had already told me that she is a daughter of a queen. A grandmother was the queen of witches in the area where she comes from. So to this very day, I have been seeing Tokoloshis. I have eaten the flesh of human beings that of the people that we would have bewitched. And then when they die, we go to the graveyard and we cut their flesh, and then we feed our Tokoloshis, the snake. That is like our aeroplane that takes us where we want to go to. But I feel like I am tired. I did not know that as a witch, you are supposed to sacrifice your children. And she told me that she has also sacrificed her own children. I want to give my life to Christ again, but I do not know where to start. Is there someone that has ever been practicing witchcraft in their life? Please tell me, how did you get out of witchcraft? Because I do not want this lifestyle anymore. If there is anyone that wants this spirit of witchcraft from me, they can come to my inbox, and then I can give them whatever that they want so that I can be clean. All that I want is to take care of my daughter, to live my life. Now that I have a business, I have no reason to continue practicing witchcraft. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to us by one of our dear sister. Let us speak with our dear sister in the comment section. Strange things indeed, they do happen in this world. You can come to my inbox and share with us your contact. Then I would give them to our dear sister on Facebook at Brother Nashim. Let us meet again in the following episode.